Hey everyone, it's me Arthur Cade, and today we're a boutique where I'm welcoming country music superstar Lee Greenwood to Behind the Velvet Rope. Check out his new book, Proud to Be an American. Great stuff for a younger generation. Hey everyone, it's me Arthur Cade, and God bless the USA because I've got Lee Greenwood here. First of all, congratulations. You've got a children's book out, Proud to Be an American. Very few music artists have done as much for the troops and as much as for the military as you have, man. And it's a pleasure to have you here joining me.
Thanks. Great to be in New York. And of course, our book went #1 on Amazon. We're proud of that, and it's only been out 2 days.
You and I were joking. You were on Hannity last night, and that just kicked it to #1. The power of Fox. I love it.
Well, they've been really good to me. And of course, we worked with Sean Hannity and his Freedom Alliance concerts for 4 years, and that was getting money for troops and taking care of all their needs.
So you have this iconic hit, obviously. Everybody knows God Bless the USA. You've done other books and now a children's book. Why children's book?
Well, we talked about this. I probably should have done it 10, 12 years ago. God Bless the USA I wrote in 1983. So long history, 33 years, singing it everywhere. And as you know, right after the terrorist attack in New York, I was here 3 times at the Firearms Memorial and the Carnegie Hall for the policemen. And then I sang the 4th game of the World Series, too, the Diamondbacks-Yankees game, which they lost, unfortunately. But I just thought, of all the books we read to our kids, and my wife and I have been married 23 years. We have 2 sons that are now 20 and 16. They would sit on our lap in the rocking chair. We still got the rocking chair. And we'd hold the book in front of them, and then they'd see the beautiful pictures, and they'd pick out a word here or there. When they were a year old, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, by the time they get into kindergarten and 1st grade, they're already getting an education, not only in numbers and in letters and in words and sentences, but about animals and insects and geography and humans. They get that kind of induction. But we didn't have any patriotic books. And so I talked to my wife the other day about it, and I said, why don't we just take the lyrics of my song, God Bless the USA, make a pictorial of the lyrics in the book and put it out and see what happens. And already I've had so many responses from grandmothers and grandparents and parents who say, I needed this tool a long time ago.
When did this become a passion for you, the troops? Obviously, God Bless USA has become one of the national anthems, but when did this actually become a passion for you?
Well, as I mentioned, I wrote God Bless the USA in 1983, but I started working for the USO back in my home state of California when I was 14. My first band, we worked at McClellan and Mather Air Force Base, which is the SAC command bases right near my home. And then my first USO tour was to Alaska before it was a state. So now you know the time frame and how old I am. And so we've admired the United Service Organization and what they did for the military. My first bass player in my band was a member of the Air National Guard, and we got a good dose of what you have to do and the kind of sacrifices you have to make. And now, after touring for 30-some years and touring with the military in different parts of the world, we realize what the real heavy sacrifice is. I'm the national ambassador for helpingahero.org, which we give homes to soldiers who have been seriously wounded. So we take care of our wounded warriors and all of the veterans who work for us.
You'd mentioned your wife, and having been married this long in this business is theoretically impossible. How have you kept a happy marriage this long?
She's a fox.
She runs Miss USA, by the way.
Well, 3 states of that. She was former Miss Tennessee and is still as beautiful as ever. We have Tennessee, Mississippi, and Georgia for Greenwood Productions, and she's a full-time business person and very smart. And so I think, we balance our schedule with our kids, and we've got them to this point now. We have 1 more in high school, 1 in college, and as they mature and get out on their own, it's been that process that makes us proud as parents. And so maybe that's one of the things that makes us last so long as a married couple.
There are a few songs that are as well known and as recognizable as God Bless the USA. Did you know at that moment when you were writing that 30 plus years ago that song would take on the personality and the significance that it has up to now in 2015?
No. And the reason I say that, when we were at MCA with Reba McEntire, George Strait, Barbara Mandrell, and the Oak Ridge Boys, we all had similar careers. We worked really hard at it. The company demanded us to turn in, that was a contract, agreement, turn in 2 albums a year. So every 6 months you had to get 10 songs. You probably go through 50 songs to get to those 10. Have a photo session for each album, okay that, and make sure that you had all that media in place twice a year and 200 or 300 days. And so I'm on the road all the time in my bus. That's where I did all my writing, in the bus. God Bless the USA was one of those songs I wrote in 1983 and 84 that were on scheduled for album extras. It wasn't scheduled for a single. And Universal made the call and wanted USA to be the single release for 1984. Shock. It went to like number 10 or 11. We put it on stage. I knew I'd hit the target of America's heart. It was Song of the Year in 1985, but then it kind of just like drifted along. There was the presidential election, of course, for Reagan. It became his presidential song, and I am a conservative Christian Republican, so you know where I'm coming from now, okay? But that wasn't the issue. I didn't want it to be partisan. You know, I want it to be for all Americans, and that's why I put God first. So God Bless the USA. In any case, after the attack on America, then we had an album called American Patriot, which went double platinum, and for the second time it went to the top of the charts. After Katrina and then the Gulf War, of course, again it was on the top of the charts. So it really been an interesting history of how the song got to where it is today, and so now hence the children's book, and I called it Proud to Be an American because I think it has a broader scope.
One of the fascinating things is right now, having done country music for so long, we've seen this genre evolve. I mean, it's gone from people like you and Reba to now, although she's now more pop music, but the people like Taylor Swift and Miranda Lambert. Talk to me about seeing country music evolve over the last 3 decades.
Well, interesting that you would say that because a lot of the artists, like say Carrie Underwood, when you win American Idol, they want to be into the country field now because it's so big. When I won my first Grammy, I was at the Houston Rodeo. They didn't even have country acts on the Grammys. It was just an afterthought. Oh, by the way, these are the guys that won in country. Okay, now let's get to the real show. I was like, what? You know, but once Garth Brooks came on the scene and went to Europe and it kind of exploded. And there's been a growing process where in the center of country music is Nashville. And Nashville started calling itself country after Eddie Arnold and some of the folks who started country and western. And the further away you get it from Nashville, like let's say Europe, they still call it country and western, C&W. Well, my first introduction into country music was when Ray Charles did his first C&W album.
Which was such a great album.
And I said, if that's the kind of country music you make, that's where I want to go, because that's my background, is R&B, jazz, rock. And I was raised in the Beatle era. No, I knew country music. We were raised on a farm in Sacramento, but it wasn't the corny kind. You know, I wanted a little more of a contemporary. And on the same page as Kenny Rogers and Ronnie Millsap and a few others that sang that same kind of stuff that I sang.
When you look at where we are as a country right now, I'm curious to hear your thoughts because you are such a patriot. What do you think is good and bad right now? What do you think about where we are and where we need to go?
Well, I hate to criticize too much, but I don't like the stance of the administration on world conflict and world pressure. Al-Qaeda first and now ISIS, and I see the headlines just as we're doing this taping that America's not getting involved, you know, in protecting those that ISIS has taken over. That is nuts. We're supposed to be a world leader. We have the defensive power to do so, and offensive power as well. We should take that role, you know, and I never hear anything bad from people who have lost a soldier in war. They always say, as long as you admire what they did and acknowledge what they did, we would go and have our son or daughter go and fight again. And so you embrace those that have paid the price. But I think it's necessary for the United States to not back away from world threat, but go and face it. Go and remember, have the rest of the world remember that America is there for the defense of freedom in any country around the world, including our own.
You've had so many incredible moments in your life and career. What's been the most memorable for you?
I think maybe playing at the White House. We had a congressional performance for Reagan, and at the time President Bush was vice president. That was pretty cool. It led to, of course, the library opening for Ronald Reagan, and I sang in front of 5 presidents and 6 first ladies at the same time. I don't think that'll ever happen again.
Good for you, man. Everybody make sure to check out Lee's new book, Proud to Be an American. Really, really great stuff, and good for you for just all the work you do with the troops. And we just came off Memorial Day, and it is important that we remember the work that they do for us, and you're helping out. So congrats, man.